Alright, so of course I'm gonna be reviewing A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, which came out in 1987. The basic plot of the movie is about a young teenage girl named Kirsten who is having dreams about Freddy, and she actually builds a replica of Freddy house. She's having trouble going to sleep, and she's caffeinated herself and playing loud music when her mom tells her to go to sleep, and she does, and she uh she slits her wrist, and it was actually Freddy. Freddy possesses the sink and grabs a hold of her and like slits her wrist with a razor. So she gets sent to a mental hospital for troubled teens, and she's like causing problems in there. She's like, I'm not crazy. There's a guy after me in my dreams. I don't want to go to sleep. And once you get there, you find out there's these other kids there who have been in similar circumstances. They're having dreams about Freddy, and they hurt themselves in some way. Well, while that's going on, uh, there's a psychiatrist there. He believes the kid, and he's like, well, he doesn't believe him at first, but later he does. But he's like, you guys are just having fears that you're not exposing yourself to them, that, you're not getting over them. So they're like manifesting in your dreams. And he meets up with Nancy, and he starts seeing weird stuff too. He starts seeing like a nun and stuff, and she's telling him like cryptic things. And he meets up with Nancy. Nancy's back in this one, and she tells them, well, I believe these kids, I know what they're going through because I went through the same thing. And she's like, there's this medicine called Hypnosil that you go to sleep but you don't dream. And she's like, I'm gonna get these kids on some Hypnosil. And of course he was like, I don't believe you. And then like during like a meditation, like a hypnosis session, they get pulled into the dream world because Kirsten, she can lucid dream, so she can pull people into her dreams. And during the session, Freddy comes and then tries kill him and stuff. But they get up, and then they find out that the psychiatrist finds out, yes, that he this is a real person and stuff. And during the dream sequence, during the dreams, they find out that they actually have the kids actually find out that they have certain powers in their dreams that they can use to defeat Freddy. And then, so after this whole thing, um, there's another like a nurse at the institute. She's an older lady. She doesn't believe these kids, but her intentions are good, but she's kind of saying like these kids are just trouble. They need to go to sleep. So she locks them down, gives them medicine, and go to sleep. So when they do, the last half of the movie is them in their dreams, you know, trying to defeat Freddy with their superpowers. Um, this movie is considered like the shoot is considered like the favorite out of the series, and I can see why. And actually, this is my favorite movie in the series. I do like number one, but if I had to rank them, my favorite is going to be my first one is going to be Dream Warriors, then the original, then part two, New Nightmare, 4 and 5, and 6. Freddy's Dead. So I love the concept in this movie with the kids they have their own superpowers to defeat Freddy in the dream world. I thought that was cool. Um, uh, I liked how they brought Nancy back. I thought that was I don't really like when they kill off main characters in movies from the other movies, but yes, and this movie's been out for a while, so, um, yes, she does die in this movie, but I figured it was fitting. Um, one of the some of the powers that were in here are pretty cool. There's like this one kid, he's in a wheelchair, but he's like obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. He's like a nerdy character. He turns into this thing called the Wizard Master. And there's a scene where he's in the dream world trying to defeat Freddy, and Freddy, like, there's like this big wheelchair with like spikes sticking out of it, and Freddy, tries to chase him with it. He kind of gets a lame death. Freddy just grabs him, but the kid can like shoot out like lightning bolts and stuff. Freddy grabs him and just stabs him in the heart. Um, this death scene was pretty good though. There's a girl, I forgot her name. I think it is Tina. She's a junkie, and she's in the hospital, because she does heroin and stuff. And there's actually a doctor in there, or a nurse or whatever, an orderly. He's like, I guess, like her drug supplier and stuff, and he's like a nasty character. You don't see him that much, but there's like a scene where he's talking to her, and he's like, I do this to you, you do this for me, and she's like, fuck off, I don't do that shit no more. Well, she turns into like, I don't know what she really is, but she turns into like this punk kind of girl, and she has like a tall mohawk. She's like dressed in black, like leather and stuff, and she has switchblades. But there's this part where Freddy gets her in the dream where she's like in an alley, I guess, where like all the the junkies hang out at, and she's trying to defeat, and she's like, hey, what does she say? Hey, dick face, let's dance. Well, Freddy's glove turns in, or his hands turn into syringes, and they have like this blue liquid in it, and he goes, hey Tina, let's get high. And he sticks his she has like, like the track marks heroin addicts have. Well, they're like, she has them, but they're like little mouths, and they're like going like sucking and stuff. And then Freddy sticks them into her arm, and like, I guess like it like rushes through her body, and it does something to her, because like you see her veins like sticking out in her head, and he goes, what a rush. Yeah, this is the movie where Freddy started doing one-liners a lot when he killed people. And there's this one girl, she dies before she finds out what her dream sequence, or what her dream power is. She's like, she smokes cigarettes a lot. She's a chain smoker, and she likes watching TV. She's like obsessed with like celebrities and stuff like that. And she also likes to burn herself with cigarettes and stuff. But she's watching a TV interview. I think it's Johnny Carson, and Zsa Zsa Gabor's on it. Well, she falls asleep, and the TV turns, and it's Freddy's head sticking up at the top in his arms. Well, she goes up to it because the TV starts messing up, and then it forms into like Freddy, like his head pops up at the top, and like his arms come out the side, and he picks her up and grabs her, and then shoves her. He goes, "This is it, Jennifer, your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch." And he shoves her head into the TV. And then there's actually a young Lawrence Fishburne in it, because he plays like one of the orderlies, and he walks in and finds her body. Oh yeah, but there's the scene where like Jar Jar Gabor is talking, and like Johnny Carson, Freddy turns to Johnny Carson, and he's like, "Who gives a fuck what you think?" And he like goes after her. There's a kid named Philip, and he's another one too. He doesn't know, he died before he found out what his powers were. He likes to make puppets, and he's a sleepwalker. And there's a scene where this is kind of cool effect. There's like a little marionette puppet he makes, and it turns to Freddy when he's sleeping. It cuts himself, drops down, and Freddy slits his arm, like slits like this, like his arms like that up, and his legs too, and his veins pop out, and he uses them kind of like a marionette puppet to make him walk, and like when it's happening, of course the kids can see him sleepwalking, but they see how he's walking, but they don't know what's going on, so they think, oh, he's just sleepwalking, and they go tell like the orderlies what's going on. And Freddy takes them up to like the top of the building where like it's unsecured, and he cuts the veins or whatever, and he falls off the building. I thought that was kind of nasty though, like when he was doing the when he was walking them like that. I was like, damn, that's fucking brutal. Um, gosh, what's another scene? Uh, there's there's a mute kid named Joey in the movie, and he's like obsessed with one of the nurses there, and Freddy like takes like, they're dreaming. This is like when all the stuff's going down when they're all sleeping, and Joey the Freddy takes over the nurse's body, and he tries to seduce Joey, and of course he shows that, oh, I'm really Freddy, and he ties him over this bed and is open like over this pit of hell, and he's like in the real world he's in a coma, and she's like, what do you want with him and stuff, and Freddy like writes into his chest, he says, come get him, bitch, and but there's one scene where, like, when they first go into the dreams, Kirsten is, like, in this, like, abandoned house, and she hears, like, the walls shaking and stuff, and, like, there's, like, a snake Freddy that jumps out and, like, starts devouring her. And, of course, she pulls Nancy into the dream, so Nancy, like, they both get out. And then, like, when Freddy sees Nancy, he goes, you! And then, there's also this one scene where they're, like, in like a padded room, because I think it was Kincaid that was in the padded room, because he started freaking out because he didn't want to, be put under. Well, they all be in the padded room. Like Kincaid's power, all he does is like he can break through stuff. He has like super strength, and well, they're trying to hide from Freddy, and then you see like claws ripping through the padded room. There's like a scene where they're in a hallway of mirrors, and Freddy jumps through them or starts breaking them and stuff. Then you know, I don't know if like Freddy's death changes is like every reason to kill him changes in every movie, and this time, well, he finally gets a hold of Nancy and kills her, but there's a subplot going on with the other psychiatrist and Nancy's father, and he's trying to get to him. The psychiatrist is trying to get to Nancy's father to find out where Freddy's bones are at, because the nun, which is Freddy's mom, that the ghost nun that the psychiatrist keeps seeing is actually Freddy's mom, and she tells him that you gotta put holy water on his bones, that where he's buried at, in order for him to stay put. And so the psychiatrist is looking for Nancy's father, and he finds him, and they go to this junkyard, and they find his bones. They find out where his bones are at, and of course, there's a skeleton, a stupid ass skeleton that comes out and starts fighting the psychiatrist. Well, they pour the holy water on his body, and then on his bones, and then Freddy's defeated. It's like, I don't know why, like, his death changes every movie, but I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, like I said, this is my favorite out of the series. Like that, this is the one I've watched the most. I'm trying to figure out some more cool scenes from the movie, but yeah, that's my review.